Okay, Smackdown review. Before we get started, let's talk a little bit about Raw. And I've heard people say the show was bad, but there were several things good about it. I do not agree. And you're going to probably think, oh, you really like Raw? Nope. I didn't like Raw one damn bit. In fact, every segment was not done well or was bad. First thing we're going to talk about. Let's get this said clearly. Joe Anawahi. I am not talking about him. I'm talking about the character they created for him called Roman Reigns. Now, I want to make this very clear. I'm not a Roman Reigns fan. But I've said it numerous times. They booked the guy so badly, no one cared about him. The minute he gets badly sick is the only way he got over. Period. And I've said this myself. When he announced that he's in remission, I'm happy for the guy. I kind of wish I could have helped my mom. That technology had reached a point where complications could be straightened out, and my mother could be probably alive today, and she would be almost 90 years old. Yes, my mother would be 90. I am nearly 48 this year. I may look young, hopefully. Hopefully look young. But in the end, I'm glad the guy's alright. But it does not change the fact that the booking of his character is so bad. And now everyone is so happy he came back, they're looking past how badly he was booked and how badly he's going to be booked again. Because I do not trust the WWE 100% right now. Making the Shield again makes no sense. If Joe Anawahi's, and I'm hoping I'm saying his last name properly, Joe Anawahi's character, Roman Reigns, if his character is now over, why recreate the Shield to bog it down? Build him slowly up into the main title after WrestleMania. Hell, he can go for the title if you want to make it really a long-term thing, to really make it really mean something, do it at Survivor Series. You're going to rush it, do it at SummerSlam. But when you're trying to build the guy back up to make him relevant, you should wait a little bit. Why would you use the Shield to get him back? Knowing full well that a Dean may be actually leaving. Now, if he's not leaving, that's on him. And to be honest, he's done for staying. Because the Shield's not going to help him. Seth Rollins. The Shield is not going to help him. It's been bogging him down. It's going to bog him down again. And the only person to get some type of benefit, which is stretching it, is Roman Reigns. And to be honest, he's not going to gain anything. It's just going to hurt him no matter how much people are enjoying it now because they're screaming for it. Honestly, it will not help him. Second segment was at the end of the show, and I know I could talk a lot of stuff like Heavy Machinery looking bad, Ricochet and Aleister Black, and I will be talking about them in this review. So I'm leaving that alone. The ending of the show. And I know people are so happy that Ronda Rousey possibly turned heel and beat the crap out of a Becky Lynch. But I'm being honest here. I do not believe the WWE's booked this properly. And in honesty, Becky looks bad. Becky looks weak. And putting her in the position of an underdog is dumb. She should not be an underdog. She should have never given in. She should have never been booked like this. And in honesty, it looks bad for her. Even if she does win the title, in the end, she still looks bad. And I'm saying this honestly. I like Becky. I want her to get over. But hearing how the crowd acts now, she's off steam. And the way this booking is, it's garbage. Now, moving on to SmackDown Live, which was a hot mess in itself. I'm honest here. This was a hot mess. Was it 100% bad? Honestly, sort of yeah. I know people would say, well, it wasn't a bad show. Honestly, yes, it was kind of a bad show. It was. I'm not giving this a passing grade. It is not that good. Let's get to Kofi Kingston and the New Day in India. Reason they're there is because Vincent Kennedy McMahon sent them there. And the segment they had recorded, they're going to say they're going to be a fast lane. Honestly, it sucks. That segment sucks for the simple reason, how can I say this to make sense to everyone? Look, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Everyone is screaming for Kofi Mania. It may happen. But let's be honest here. This is still getting Daniel Bryan over as a heel. I just do not buy him dropping the title at Fastlane or dropping the title at WrestleMania. Maybe Kofi will be included, but to be honest, I just don't see it for Kofi. I hope it'll happen, but I'm being honest here. Yes, they are booking, hopefully, Kofi in a way that will make him look good at WrestleMania. Unless something is going to happen and not going to include him, he will be included in WrestleMania, but I just don't see it being special for him. This is still about Daniel Bryan. It's not about Kofi. It's not about the Kevin Owens. It's about Daniel Bryan. I just don't see it. Now, the next thing, I want to get it over with now. Mandy Rose versus Naomi. I'm sorry. What did they just do? You did a program with Naomi versus Mandy Rose where Mandy was supposed to be trying to take her man away. And that is Naomi. She's the one that's been getting screwed over. She's the one who's been assaulted. She's the one who saw her husband have to do whatever it took to try and make it cool when it wasn't. And you get her in this situation where instead of you doing something with Naomi, you go with Mandy. And instead of doing something between Naomi and Asuka, who have had some history, mixed match challenge, Asuka became her friend. Asuka could have turned on Naomi and make this something about Asuka and Naomi. I'm not saying Naomi's great, but at least it was something. You could have given Naomi something. What did you give Naomi here? Less than a 2-minute match where she jobs. Badly jobs. It was so ugly. Once Deville jumped onto that ring, I knew she was jobbing and she jobbed. And this was all about Asuka trying to get back at Mandy Rose, which looked bad for Asuka, to be honest. Let's be honest here. What has Asuka done for months? Nothing. What did she do when she got the title? Nothing. Do I actually care about Asuka? No. Do I actually believe Asuka is going to retain? No. If Asuka does retain, do you think they're going to do something with her? No. So I don't care about this. You made Naomi look bad. You made Asuka look bad. Yes, you made Mandy Rose look dumb and good at the same time. This is what we get. The R-Truth Open Challenge. Gotta get it done. And again, if I'm correct, Mella was not talked at all. No words came out of Corey Graves' mouth. It was Byron Saxton's and Todd Phillip who spoke. And you hear nothing from Corey. And that kind of upset me because my middle name is Corey. He says nothing. But here's the thing. When it comes down to it, I was upset because of 2 reasons. No, 3 reasons. I'm sorry. Not two, 3. 1, instead of doing something with R-Truth, once he got that title, he just disappeared. Instead of doing backstage segments with R-Truth being silly with the title. Yes, I know people don't want to see that. They want to see the U.S. title defended and treated with respect. This is the WWE. They're doing nothing with the freaking title. So make it as entertaining as possible around someone who's funny and interesting like an R-Truth, which they didn't do. That was the first thing that pissed me off. Second thing was this match. And hearing R-Truth saying that John Cena was his quote-unquote hero really didn't bother me none. It was silly. It's part of R-Truth's craziness. I'm not surprised he did it. Now the match itself was okay. But here's the thing. Here's where it hurts so much. I knew one of 2 things had to happen. Either Joe had to win that title or it's going to be Rey Mysterio. Rey would have been the best person to win that title compared to Joe. But I knew there was a good chance they're going to throw it on Joe because Joe has been pretty pissed off lately. And because of what's been going on with the different situations in the back, like All Elite Wrestling has been bothering people in the back who are management. So they're really trying to make people happy who have been disgruntled. And Joe particularly has been disgruntled for months and months. They've done nothing with him. So I expected if they weren't going to give it to Rey, they were going to give it to Joe. And in the end, they gave it to Joe. And here's the problem. Rey needed that freaking title. because they're not making this really feel like a legacy thing between Almost and Rey Mysterio, even though they're talking about it. They've already done it. They did the legacy thing over a month or so ago when they started their damn feud. Not weeks, months. More than a month ago, they dealt with that and ended it. They needed a freaking title to really make this special, and now Joe has it. And because Joe has it, it hurts their feud, and it doesn't really give much to Joe. To be honest, Joe should have been champ. He should have been a WWE champion, and it would have been more easier to do it. I'm sorry, that's the truth. Now, let's move on to the match that looked good but didn't make any difference because it's wrong. Aleister Black and Ricochet versus The Bar. Now, taking away what happened with the Hardys coming out and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev coming out 4-on-4, probably that's going to probably happen. Or 3-on-2, I don't know. I don't know what was the point of that, having 4 sets of heels and 4 sets of faces, knowing full well that Ricochet and Aleister Black are going after the Raw Tag Team titles, and it looked like a triple threat, and they're not going to be on Smackdown trying to get the titles, because that's what the Usos and the world's greatest tag team and Shane and Miz are doing. When it really comes down to it, this didn't make any sense. And worse yet, and I know I'm going to get some flack for this, but I'm going to be honest here. When it comes to Aleister Black and Ricochet, by teaming their asses up, it actually hurts them both. Aleister Black is a freaking loner. A loner who is so unique. And now he's teamed up with a high flyer, charismatic Ricochet. They do not mesh well. I'm not saying they can't work in the ring. That is not what I'm talking about. It makes no sense to put them in a tag team. They should not be in a tag team. If you're going to put anybody with Ricochet, it should have been Adam Cole. It should have been Johnny Gargano. But Johnny is working with Tommaso Ciampa, which I understand that he's hurt right now. So hopefully he'll be alright. But in the end, makes no difference. These guys should never have been teamed up. They just do not look right. They look so out of place and stupid. Now give me a reason why I'm wrong, that they're perfect together, because as far as I can tell, they're not. Let's move on. AJ had his segment, well, not segment, but an interview. And let's be honest here. He did put over Kofi, which was nice. And he made it very clear what was going on with the WWE Championship pisses him off. And then you have him deal with a Randy Orton, which is new. Randy has not dealt with AJ. And the thing that got me that I did enjoy, when AJ was saying, when it comes down to these guys, Kofi got screwed and it's unfair. He should not have been taken out. This is how the WWE is. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about what we care about. And then Randy comes out. And he said, you actually care about Kofi? Are you serious? No wonder it took you so long to get here. He didn't say you're stupid, but that's what he was saying. You're stupid. So it looks like there's going to be a feud between Randy and AJ Styles. I'm actually looking forward to this. I actually want to see it. I want to see AJ deal with it with a Randy Orton. It actually makes some sense. If they're not going, I want to make this clear. What I want at WrestleMania is Kofi Kingston going up against Randy Orton. It would have been really good if Randy Orton had won the title away from a Daniel Bryan, and it's Kofi Kingston going up against a Randy Orton, and really make this an interesting storyline. I know one of my subscribers can't stand the F about Kofi Kingston. This isn't about you, my friend, and I respect you, and I'm not discounting anything. Like you said, this is my opinion, and I understand your opinion, and I do respect it. The subscriber I'm talking about doesn't understand why the hell Kofi is even sniffing the title. Well, understand this, my friend. And I know you're not going to agree with me, and you're going to tell me the same things you always do. You curse out Kofi instead of seeing it for what it was. Vincent Kennedy McMahon is the idiot in this equation. Curse him out instead of Kofi Kingston in the New Day. It's not the point that you think them whatever you think they are. And I'm not going to call them what you call them. Personally, it upsets me. And I've not said this to you before in any comment, but to be honest, I've never said it, and I'm still respecting that you have the right to say, I leave your comments clean. But I don't feel comfortable about the way you say it. But to be honest, if you want to curse someone out like that, you curse out Vince, because he's the one who's caused this mess. Not Kofi, not Biggie, not Xavier Woods. It's really Vince who's the problem here. And in this situation, I would still want to see, I know no one really thinks about it like this, but I would have liked to see Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton for the title at WrestleMania, because they do have a history, and it got stopped by 2010 abruptly. It just ended. It didn't finish. So that's the way I see it. Now, let's move on. Miz versus, look, was it cringy when we saw the Usos talking? A little bit. But it wasn't bad until they switched over to something they recognized. Trying to belittle Miz and Shane it felt cringy. When they moved away from it and they focused on themselves, they are gold. They are freaking gold. And that's the way it should have been. They should have never totally started talking about, oh, Miz just cares about his daddy. You gotta be bromance. And no. They should have stuck what they knew and focus on themselves, not just branch off and try to mess with the Miz and Shane, and sounded so cringy. In the end, once Miz came out, their segment wasn't too bad. But the way they booked this match and the way that Miz and... Look, let me put it to you like this. I don't hate the world greatest tag team, and I don't hate the Usos. But to be honest, I'm not 100% invested. I'm just not. There is a certain feel-good moment with The Miz, and legitimately I have seen the special between The Miz and his father, and he really didn't believe in him. Even though he loved wrestling, his father. And he loves his son, Michael Misbin, he didn't really think he was that great. Wasn't going to get anywhere. So honestly speaking, this is kind of a real life type of thing. But it's still not that interesting. I'm sorry. I'm just not interested. Doesn't mean it isn't interesting to you. But to me, it's just not that very interesting. Let's move on to, Okay. Let's go to the end of the show. If I'm forgetting anything, am I forgetting anything? I think I'm not forgetting anything. But let's be honest here. The ending of the show really was cringy. Once Charlotte called for Becky to come to Smackdown Live, her restrictions have been lifted. No problem. She can go to Smackdown Live. No problem. But when you see how Charlotte was trying to beat up on Becky, because Becky pretty much said, look, I'm beaten up. You want to know? I'm beaten up. Yeah, I'm in pain. Yeah, my leg's messed up. But I'm still going to kick your ass. Or arse. When it comes to Fastlane. No matter what the hell you do. And then when the fight breaks out, it felt forced. I don't know if anyone else saw how it was. It felt forced. And then it didn't even feel like it was special. And on top of that, for me personally, on top of that, the crowd did not seem to be 100% behind it. Crowd didn't sound very loud. Now, either the WWE cranked down the sound of the crowd, or the crowd legitimately was not as hype as they should be. Because my feeling is this, like I said in the beginning of this review, Becky lost steam. She's lost it. The WWE has booked this really badly. I just do not care about this match. I don't care about it because they wanted Charlotte in this so badly. They wanted to try and book this in a way that made Charlotte mean something in it. And belittling Becky by, one, making her apologize to Steph and Triple H. And two, once Vince says you're suspended for what? Showing you got some balls? And then she took it. And instead of going to Smackdown and beating the crap out of Charlotte, she went to a house show and supposedly got hurt there. This booking has been bad. And honestly, for me personally, I'm not into it. If they had just left Becky with Ronda Rousey, and this is the thing that you may see, it's not because Charlotte is a botchy pain in the ass. She can't wrestle very well. She botches a lot. She doesn't know how to wrestle people she's not familiar with. Taking away from that, and I'm making it clear, even if she was perfect in the ring, this is not where she should be. Honestly, it's hurting this feud. It's hurting it. Having her there, pushing for her to be there, making it like Becky is weak, is not helping her. She's not Daniel Bryan. She's called the man for a reason. She took a whack to the face from Nia Jax and kept standing. Blood coming from her face. That made her into a badass. A 100% badass that may not be equal to a Stone Cold Steve Austin or a Bret Hart or a Goldberg, but you could say compared to most guys and girls on the roster for the last 10 years, she's up there with the best, with a John Cena or Randy Orton, and I'm only saying it for this situation. Before that, she sucked. They didn't book her right. She had nothing. But when they had this moment of her being the man and then getting her face smashed in by a big-ass woman who legitimately does not know how to wrestle. She hurt Mustafa Ali, for goodness sake. A guy. This shows how she does not know how to freaking wrestle. I don't hate Nia, but she can't wrestle very well. But taking away from that, this is about Becky losing steam. She's just done now. The crowd sound more quiet now. And that just proved my point. That I felt when they started this, trying to put Charlotte into this, I knew they weren't going to book it right. And right now it doesn't feel booked. We're going in the fast lane with Charlotte going to be facing Becky. And it's obvious that Becky's going to win. Now, if she doesn't win, they're going to have to include her in another way. Because the crowd still won't be happy that she's not there. Unless they've been pushing for her to just be irrelevant. And I know they're not that dumb. In the end, was this show good? Nope. Do I say to watch anything there? Not really. And I know people are going to say, look at Aleister Black and Ricochet, how great they are. They're not supposed to be paired up. They should be individuals. Hell, if you got to pair up one of them, pair up Ricochet with Johnny Gargano. At least these guys mesh better in their characters. Because Aleister Black's character sucks in this situation. He looks bad. But that's just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!